How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and today I'll be showing you a guide on where to find all the unknowns in Pokemon Legends Arceus, so let's get started right away. And also, just a heads up, if you guys want to slow down the video at any point to know where some locations are, if it's going too fast, then feel free to do that. Unown A is located in the Crimson Mirelands in the Diamond Settlement. It's specifically at the back of Adamant's hut, his little tent at the very top of it. It's angled in such a way that it's kind of really not that easy to find. Also, shout out to Danny for this information. Unown B, well, this one is located in the Cobalt Coastlands at the Molten Arena. It's on the backside of the Lord Arcanine volcano, basically at the back where you can find Alpha Ninetales, where it can spawn. If you go there, you can find it on the top, it's on the top of the volcano. You can see in the footage what that looks like. Unown C can be found at the Coordinate Highlands at the Celestica Ruins. This one is a bit weird, but if you go there, directly north of the Primal Vol Grotto, at top of one of the formations, one of these giant pillars, you can also find these statues of Palkia and Dialga, and if you go between them and you head towards essentially the west, you will find this large pillar. Go on top of that one, and you'll find the Unown. Unown D is found in the Crimson Mirelands at the campfire by the first tent. This is the area where you met the Misfortune Sisters. You just gotta go north from the first base camp and you'll find an Unown that's just on one of the logs around the fire itself. Unown E, this one is found in the Obsidian Fieldlands at the Grueling Grove. It's at the top right of the map. There's this small pond or lone little island with a single tree on it. The Unown is stuck in the side of the tree trunk. It can be a bit hard to see, but if you go to the back, you should be able to find it. Unown F can be found at the Coordinate Highlands at the Ancient Quarry, where you can also find Alpha Gudra. It's basically at the top of the rocky mountain part there. So if you just look around for the most rocky mountain part, you will find it up there. It's sort of hidden, but yes, just at the top of the quarry. Unown G, this one can be found at the Obsidian Fieldlands, specifically at Obsidian Falls. At the very top of the waterfall, if you climb, it will be kind of on the left side, sort of more towards the west, I would argue, closer to that side of things, and you'll find it between the rocks there at the top of the waterfall. So just go right in there and you'll find it. H can be found at the welcome sign at the entrance gate to the village of Jubilee Village. It's next to the one like to Prelude Beach and the practice area. That's where you can find it. It's at the top of the letter of the signs, like it's one of those. So this one's one of the easiest ones to find. Unown I can be found in the Obsidian Fieldlands at Lake Verity. It's in the middle of the lake, like the lake is in the middle, and you can find it, you know, behind a large boulder cave entrance. It's just at the back. Unown J, this one can be found at the Coronet Highlands by the Ancient Quarry. Basically, if you go over to the Sornus Path, you can enter inside the Sornus Path, and it will be found in the center of this room. It's a really big room with a bunch of rocks sticking out, like square rocks. It's kind of difficult to get this one, but it's in the middle of the room, on the left side if you entered from the path that I entered from. It's on the left side, on the top, in between two rocks. This one's really difficult to get to. There's a lot of Pokemon dangers around it, so just a warning. Unown K can be found at the Crimson Mirelands at the Shrouded Ruins, the place with the Alpha Licky, but basically it's these stone piles. Well, this one is located at the furthest away stone piles that are at the edge of a cliff. You can find them right there. He's on top of it. Now, Unown L can be found at the Coronet Highlands at the Wayward Cave. You simply enter the cave and you keep going until you see this one rock area where you gotta throw your Pokemon at this rock to be broken down. It will lead you into a dead end where there's nothing else besides the Unown on top of the wall right in front of you. Now, Unown M can be found at the Crimson Marylands at Slood Mound, specifically at Ursaluna's arena. If you go there, at the center of the arena, you can look towards one of the tree logs, the stump of one of the fallen trees, and you can basically find a Unown just kind of lodged inside of the log itself. Unown N can be found at the Cobalt Coastlands at Sands Reach. It's specifically at the large, like, crescent pillars that come out of the sea and the ocean and whatnot. If you go there, it's on the eastern one. So basically the right east pillar, the one on the right side, if you're approaching it from the camp side of things, it's right there. I would recommend being on your, surfing Pokemon, in this case, Basculegion, when catching it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it because you can't stand anywhere. So get on Basculegion, throw your Pokeball. I would say a Jet Ball would be good to use in this case. Now, Unown O can be found at the Alabaster Icelands, specifically at the Avalanche Slopes. So just around there, you can go and you can find this cavern, this like basically cave underground, which you can go inside of. We can find an Alpha Frostlass, but also Unown is at the top of one of the ice pillars in there, specifically the last ice pillar inside of the, the cavern itself. So just go in there, you'll find it. Unown P can be found at the Coordinate Highlands at the Fabled Spring. This is at the bottom left of the map. Now, Unown is specifically just in the grass there. It's just between a bunch of flowers, and you'll just see it in the middle of there. It's right at the end of the river where it just ends, so it's pretty easy to find. Just bottom left of the map, go there, you'll find it. Unown Q can be found at the Cobalt Coastlands at Turnback Cave. Right next to the entrance, you can find it. It's just right there. It's not really difficult to find. Literally at the entrance of it. At the Turnback Cave, on the left side of the entrance, you will find this thing just kind of chilling there, hanging off one of the trees. Unown R can also be found at the Cobalt Coastland. This one specifically past the grave at the end of Veilstone Cape. If you go there, you just gotta go past like the Arcanine grave all the way to the top of Lunker's lair, and right there behind the gravestone and down the cliffside you can find an Unown that is hanging right there. Unown S can be found in Obsidian Fieldlands by Tidewater Dam. It's on the river facing the side of the Stick Nest Dam that is closest to the Alpha Barrel. So it's just on that side. It's next to the Alpha Barrel, so it's easy to spot it and find it. Unown T can be found at the Alabaster Icelands, specifically at Avalok's Legacy. Now you just gotta go there. It's this giant like formation of kind of icy rocks and mountains and whatnot. Now go on top of that iceberg and just look down at the pillars around you and you will find it. It's on top of one of them. So just look around until you find one. It's kind of on a shorter one, so it might be a bit hard to see, but it's on top of one of those, so it should be not too difficult to find. Unown U can be found at the Alabaster Icelands as well, specifically at Heart's Crag. At the top of Heart's Crag, there is a double waterfall with a really odd kind of statue with rocks and whatnot at the top of it, between the two like waterfalls, and Unown U can be found right behind it. It's right behind the giant rocks. Unown V can be found at the Crimson Marylands at the Scarlet Bog. Just go west of the Scarlet Bog marker on the map to the edge of the mud pool, and Unown is basically just right here, hanging from a sort of like dying tree. Unown W can be found at the Jubilee Village. You just gotta go to look next to the Galaxy headquarters from the training camp where the old lady sells her charms by her shrine and whatnot. You can find it there at the top on the left side of Magikarp's statue's eyes. So you can find it right there. You can see in the footage what that looks like. I would highly recommend using a jet ball for this, otherwise you're gonna have a hard time catching it. Unown X can be found at the Obsidian Fieldlands at the Grand Tree Arena. This is the place where you fought Cleavor. You simply gotta climb the tree. It's on the tip of the lowest branch of the tree, facing towards the trunk in the shadows. It can be a little bit difficult to find, but you shouldn't have too much trouble with this one. Unown Y, this one is found in the Alabaster Iceland, specifically at the Icebound Falls. This is a waterfall that's totally frozen over. You just gotta climb half the way up there, or fly half the way up there, and Unown is just in the open. You can easily just catch it and find it. Unown Z is found at the Cobalt Coastland at the mast of the benched shipwreck. So yes, if you go to the giant shipwreck there, you will find that there is essentially a just a boat, right? It's just right there. And on the mast of it, you will find it. It's next to the kind of second camp you have in this area. So it's kind of simple to find. It's the shipwreck boat. It's on the mast of it. Unown ? That one is found in the Alabaster Icelands. You go to the Snowfall Hot Spring at the top of the pond. So there's a pond right there. You can see that on the map. There is a berry tree. And if you look up there, right next to that berry tree, like literally behind it, you will also find a dead tree, a frozen tree. And on top of that frozen tree, you can see an Unown. And the final Unown is found in Jubilee Village. It's actually behind the player's house, hanging from a clothing line or raft or whatever you want to call it, just kind of chilling right there. So this one is right behind your house and a pretty simple one to find. And also the last one for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, then, well, leave a like down below. Make sure to subscribe for more because we have more guides on the channel coming up and also already posted. So go check those out if you're wondering about anything and can't figure out where to go and where to find things. Also, a big thank you to the people over on the r/PokeLeaks Reddit for putting this together, specifically Donnie, as well as Rocking Wing for finding all this information and all these entries and locations. Shout out to those guys. And thank you to people of the PokeLeaks Discord for actually giving me all this information as well and helping me out. So yeah, that's that. Hope you enjoyed.